I did want to discuss this. It goes to show how much of a fraud the fucking NBA is by still working with basically Chinese controlled or Chinese state controlled media out there. Basically, it's a way to get a lot of money. And working with them, this isn't about globalizing the sport or any of that shit. It has nothing to do with it. It's just the bottom line impacts the National Basketball Association. And meanwhile, they just sit by as one of the players don't want to fucking get jabbed. Man, it's just so much irony. But to be fair, Enes Kanter, the guy we've talked about, has also said some dumb shit in that regard. So this is less about him and more about the story that I did want to cover here, because I did think it was important to really point out the it's not about the hypocrisy, because the NBA doesn't give a shit about. It's just about how stupid a lot of people are that either don't recognize this type of shit is going on, but talks out of both sides of their mouth thinking that the NBA gives a fuck about social justice. China yanks Boston Celtics games from TV after Enes Kanter slams Xi Jinping as brutal dictator. So out of this, and it'll cover it, he did this video, or groups of videos, where he was basically talking about free Tibet. Basically, and this, he said, is my message to the Chinese government: free Tibet. It belongs to it basically belongs to them. And he said he wanted to add his voice to the people that are speaking out about what's going on out there. You know, China and among other countries don't even recognize that as a free nation, or just a nation, rather. They are not allowed to study, learn the language and culture freely. They are not allowed to travel freely. They are not allowed to access information freely. And these are some of the things that he had said. Again, there's a video where you can check out all of that. He says that they're erasing. It's some of the things that he said. Chinese dictatorship is erasing their identity and culture, the Tibetan identity and culture. After learning all of this, I cannot stay silent. I stand with his Tibetan brothers, and I support their cause for freedom. Communist ideology of China has only been around, for only 100 years, but Buddhist civilization, ideology, and philosophy have been around thousands of years. This is what Kanter goes on about. Now, again, here's the video. If you do want to, because he specifically calls out them and the Chinese government and what it looks like has happened here is that they have the Chinese, which they have pulled the Celtics games, which is the team that he plays for. They have pulled the Celtics games from, was it Tencent? Yeah, it is Tencent Sports, which is basically Chinese controlled internet folk who is it's not just that they have shit and cover the NBA. It's more of they are literally partnered with the NBA. So the NBA works directly with the Chinese government. I need people to understand that in terms of, you kind of have to if you want to have your stuff circulating out there in China anyway. Like that has to be happening. And so they have pulled all his games, or all the Celtics games, even though he doesn't. I don't think he's getting any minutes right now. But they don't want to do that. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said Kanter was trying to get attention and that his remarks were not worth refuting. Which I can look. This ain't even about Kanter saying anything that's like controversial or anything, because two things can be true. He absolutely could be doing it to get attention, but that doesn't mean what's going on in Tibet isn't going on in Tibet. China is a weird place, man, and I'm not talking about like actual China, though it is a weird fucking place. It's communistic as fuck, but it ain't just that. It's more of how so many world governments work directly with China from an economic sense, because, hey, it's a fucking heavily populated place. And if you can work with the state and have your shit fluctuating there, this is why so many people depend on them in terms of the box office stuff, like with movies, because there's a lot of money involved in that. And the NBA is not blind to that idea, which is why they work with Tencent Sports in the first place. The NBA works directly with fucking China. So when you remember LeBron coming out and saying, what was it, Daryl Morey? When he came out and he was like, he was talking about Hong Kong. And like, oh, you can't say that. He's like, oh, people need to, I forget what slick shit that LeBron said, something about people don't really understand the consequences of what it is they saying and all that shit. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers spend a year kneeling and fists in the air and jerseys and social justice and shit. And the minute someone else speaks about some real fucking fucked up shit going on, albeit in a different country, oh, well, you can't say that. So, again, this isn't about praise or admiration for Enes Kanter. This ain't what this is about. This is about the fact that China pulls games and from their, like, basically, you can't see the shit in China. Boston fan or not, you can't see it. Because they criticized, or someone criticized, the Chinese fucking government, Xi Jinping, to be more direct. And that was enough for them to say, fuck no, we not having that. And your NBA works with them. This is why when they talk about social justice, you can't take them serious. They're full of shit. They work with governments. I would say, arguably, if you're looking at it in comparison to other countries, China might be the country that they work with the most directly because they have to. It's not as marketized as some other economies because you have to go through the state government in order to ensure that your shit is going. So they have all of these camps and stuff out there. Y'all remember that story we covered here? They got uncovered. Of, you had NBA camps out there basically punishing these Uyghur Muslim Chinese athletes and shit. It was all fucked. But the NBA continues to work with China. They haven't stopped. So why the fuck is anybody taking these people, including their beloved athletes? They know this shit's going on. I'm not trying to hear anything about your social justice shit. They won't even stand with one of their own people who don't want to get forced to get a jab. That's it. They won't even do that. They going about their life. They got their little jab, got their money. And then we supposed to take them serious when they fucking want to cancel games for Jacob Blake Wood. Was that his name? Like, come on, man. Like, we can't take these guys serious. They full of shit. They full of caca. That's all I wanted to say. Nothing more, nothing less. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.